The Abbey of Benediktbeuern in the foothills of the Bavarian Alps. It is one of the oldest monasteries in Upper Bavaria. Within its spacious grounds stands a listed historic building, the Alte Schäfflerei. In former times, the Coopers produced the beer barrels for the Abbey Brewery here. Today, it houses the Fraunhofer Center for conservation and energy performance of historic buildings.
Here in the center, of course, the preservation of monuments is one of our top priorities. That means that we want to show how it is possible to refurbish and conserve listed historic buildings in the long term without damaging them in any way. We plan to present events here in order to pass on this knowledge to interested persons who execute such projects. We want to show them best practice. We want to make the solutions tangible. We want this center to play an active role. That is to say that over the years, new applications are introduced so that we can practice our research actively on the object itself.
The Fraunhofer Institute for Building Physics, IBP, took over the historic building in 2010 and then spent 6 years renovating and researching it in line with its historic status and in an energy-saving manner. Here we have the roof timbering from the second half of the 18th century with a supporting hanging truss. This truss divided the length of the beams in two. It supports the weight-bearing capacity of the roof timbering, and thus we have a very complicated hanging truss, which we've tried to repair and restore in line with the principles of monument protection. We were delighted to discover that we can actually preserve 95% of the historic old wood. The scientists at the Fraunhofer Center Benediktbeuern are also investigating how historic buildings and listed monuments can be made more energy efficient. The researchers lay special emphasis on the need to be able to reverse all measures so that the valuable historic building substance can be retained. For example, insulation should be easily removable again without damage to the plasterwork and masonry.
Here in the Alte Schäfflerei, we aim to show all the various aspects of monument protection for buildings. That starts with the protection of the facade, with the renovation of damp wall foundations, and the maintenance of historic windows. It also included questions as to which domestic engineering is the right approach. How should such a building be operated, and what should the long-term maintenance and care include?
Before the opening, the paint from the past decades must be removed. Expert restoration work reveals the old wood once more. The main focus in all the activities at the center lies in interaction and interdisciplinary work with partners from research, industry, and traditional crafts. In this area in particular, we have created the possibility of establishing an atelier, a sort of workshop in the old smithy, the old caretaker's premises of the building. Here, industrial partners have the opportunity to demonstrate their work or to carry out training courses for craftsmen. So we have the exhibition, the demonstration, and the events upstairs, and here downstairs we have all the craftsmen's work, bringing together all the concepts of the center. The Alte Schäfflerei has lived through turbulent times from its completion in 1760 until its present function as the Fraunhofer Center for Conservation and Energy Performance of Historic Buildings.
The Abbey of Benediktbeuern is a historic location at which Josef von Fraunhofer once worked. We, the Salesians of Don Bosco, are grateful that the Fraunhofer Institute from Holzkirchen has renovated and repaired the Alte Schäfflerei, which was previously in a dilapidated state, and that they are now using it for their own purposes. It's wonderful. We are very pleased.
Historic buildings are more than just old houses. They are windows onto the past and at the same time an important part of our present and our future. It is the aim of the Fraunhofer Center for Conservation and Energy Performance of Historic Buildings to maintain them in such a way that people are happy to live in them.